Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Lady Journey. Hi. Welcome to our Patreon Lady Journey. This is a makeshift episode, clearly, and that's my guest for today. always on, always bringing the heat. So it is a long
I
flush.
didn't know it was going to be that long of a flush.
Too long. So Katie and I thought we had an episode and now we don't know where it went. And so I was like, you know what? I can do a quick Lady Journey episode while Joe and I are in Montana. So today, guys, let's give a warm Lady Journey welcome to my special guest, Joe List.
Hi, it's 2:45 a.m.
It's maybe y'all's time. So I felt like today's lady journey, but it's not necessarily a lady journey, but I feel like it's on par for what we do. Is Joe and I like to talk about whenever we go on trips, racking up spirituality points. Now, in your mind, what do you think spirituality points are?
It's in my mind. I mean, I coined the term. By the way, I did not know the toilet would run for a full 17 seconds. It's still going. Oh, it's changing its tone. I hope you guys can hear it at home. I think they can. It's still going. This is a really long. I would say a spirituality point is when you feel your spirituality levels go up. It's like a video game. You have a certain amount of level, and if you get a nice long hug, or maybe some time in the ocean, or you see a shooting star. A shooting star is big. That's like 14 hugs from a woman.
We also kind of call them like dopamine rushes, natural dopamine rushes. So I would think like something that would take away your spirituality points would probably be something like scrolling online or like TikTok or like doom scrolling. But to get your points up, it's like hang out with your friends.
Yeah, like I said, ocean, any kind of nature, I think. Tree. Something I like to do is pull pine needles off of a pine tree, and then you put them in your hand, and you do this.
Don't do that. Doesn't that hurt?
No. What?
I think I remember doing that as a kid, and it gave me like paper cuts.
No. You take the needles, and then you just rub them like this. You don't you don't poke yourself with them. No, and then you get in there and really huff it. You huff pine needles.
Yes.
Yeah, and it smells amazing. It smells like a Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah. Any natural smells like cut grass, those are spirituality points, nature stuff. But so today, Joe and I, we're, to give you guys inside information, we're in Whitefish, Montana. Joe got asked to play for a minor league team for one day. And I would have to say that is major spirituality points. Do you want to talk about that a little bit more?
It was a lot of spirituality. I mean, it was ups and downs, strikes and gutters, because I was there, and the boys just came off an 11-hour bus ride, and they weren't that thrilled about having a 40-year-old comedian on the team. Some of them were cool. Dan Swain, shout out, that's my boy from Newton, Mass. But some were a little bit like this. And that actually took away some spirituality points. It made me a little bit sad. When I first got there, I was like, this is not great.
I could sense it because I watched a little bit of Joe's interaction, and I felt like it was a little standoffish at first. I think people are like, what's this? Is he going to make fun of us, or is this going to be fun?
Well, I think I put myself there. Like, if somebody came to the Comedy Cellar and was like, we're doing an internship, we're going to embed you, we would just destroy it. We'd be like, get the fuck out of here, you suck.
We would absolutely take away their spirituality points. So we're in Whitefish, Montana, and we had a full day to ourselves, and we really got to it. And for me, one spirituality point is if I can get up within a reasonable amount of time early. So we got up. I think we managed to leave here about 9:30.
Yeah, it was in the 9s. I mean, we went and got coffee. No, we had breakfast downstairs, and we were hiking in the 10s, which was nice. It was 10:10 or something like that, which is pretty good for.
Yes, for me, I am more like a 10:30, and then finally get going maybe around noon. I like to go at my leisurely pace, but it's really bad. And so I prefer when I have somebody that forces me to get my shit going. So our first spirituality point system that we racked up is we walked this trail called Danny On Trail.
Yeah, I don't care for the name. Danny On. That took away my spirituality points. I was like, get out of here. What does this mean? What kind of name is this?
It's like you think Danny and then On, O-N. So it feels weird. It didn't have a name like, Cedar Creek Loop.
That's right.
Thank you for confirming. We walked that. So you had the choice to go gondola up and then walk down. And we were like, no, we are hardcore. So we did, what would you say, a 3 mile?
Oh, 3 miles easy. I mean, it was a difficult hike. We're avid hikers. This was difficult straight up the mountain. I mean, this was gravelly rock straight up. Then we flattened out into the woods, which was nice. We got some snow. We were at elevation. It was spectacular.
Oh, and then there was like a light river stream going down, and that brought up spirituality points. The workout that we got, because there were switchbacks, but mainly it was several steep inclines. So it's like almost to me what it felt like for your heart rate, like you were doing full on sprints, but walking.
Yeah, that's right. It was a very
I just say everything and then he's like, that's right.
That's right. Very high heart rate. And this one is brought to you by nuts.com. Sponsor.
Yeah. They're not a sponsor.
We have to get our sponsors out there, nuts.com.
We also have like Listerine in here and Old Spice, and they don't sponsor us either. Yeah. And, Vaseline, but that's for Joe's lips because he has cold sores. I'm just kidding. He doesn't have cold sores. Chapped lips.
Yeah. I don't have cold sores. I mean, I have genital herpes.
Yeah, that we should talk about that one day.
Okay.
But that's a lady journey too. So, and it's open. We're not the source, but we're talking about Joe has no shame, and that's really what brought me to him. Not shame, but I like that he was open about his life, and I feel like if more people were more open like that, then we wouldn't be in the mess that we're in, right?
Yeah, I'm gay also.
He's gay, and I'm his beard. Actually, I'm not, because you just came out.
Yeah.
So I don't get to be the beard anymore. So, but when we got to the top, there was a lady that gave us a light lesson about bears. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, it was nice. She was actually pretty attractive. She was like Montana hot, I would say. And she had kind of like a grizzly voice. Like she seemed like she would, step on your testicles if you're into that.
Joe's really into that.
That's right. So she was nice. She was a park ranger, and she told us there was 3 options. Maybe we should offer the question to the people at home and see.
Yes. Okay. So the question was, what is the biggest deterrent for bears? What noise is the biggest deterrent? And our options were A, bells. You can get apparently bear bells. Loud music.
Right.
And what was the other option?
And human talking.
Okay, so I don't know which one we guessed, but the answer is
humans talking. We're keeping the bears away right now.
So we just played a podcast full volume. We put on Tim Dillon.
We put on the Tim Dillon show.
That was Joe's joke. I want to just give credit. He said that earlier when we were on the hike.
That's right.
Yes. So we finally, what did it take us? 45 minutes?
No, it took us, that was the second hike. The first hike was way longer than 45 minutes. That was long.
Yeah.
That was, I would say, at least an hour, 10, hour and a half maybe. It was a long hike.
Yes, but you know what? When you go on hikes, what I like about hikes, and I think it's part of the spirituality points, is that you kind of connect with your walking partner or your life partner. And Joe's actually my walking partner and my life partner, and you work things out. Not that we were fighting, but we talk about things that we like, things that we could improve on.
Yeah. What did we work out? I don't even know. It made it seem like we were...
Well, we were talking, Joe has a new movie that I'm also in. I have a small part in it.
Huge part.
Oh, but it's pivotal.
Yeah, it's a huge part. You're the number 2.
I'm not.
In movies, they rank the stars, and it comes in order. Sarah's the number 2. That's a movie term. She's number 2. She's our number 2.
I'm the number 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Second billing.
Like a Jennifer Connelly.
That's right.
Yes. And we talked about like what if we could do it all, if Joe could do it all over again, what are some things he would have changed, what he would have liked to have done. And I always think I like those conversations. And then we talk about
Regret is very enjoyable to Sarah.
well, it's a good conversational piece.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Then sometimes I like to bring the hike down with world events, where I start talking about like, I don't think we'll ever get out of this political climate that we're in.
As we're summiting.
As we're
I'm not joking. At the summit, 360-degree views of Glacier National Park and Canada and the Valley. And Sarah's like, how could we possibly get out of this? Trump's going to be president again. I'm like, I know, it's crazy.
Yes. I'm like, we're too divided and I don't think we're ever going to get out. But that's a side lady journey. We try not to get super political on here. To each his own. But so we have those kind of conversations. What were we hoping to see on the trail today?
Bears. We wanted to see bears very much, but we didn't.
Yeah. Joe started thinking, he was like, I think you said, I'm
I premonished a bear sighting, but
it didn't happen. But maybe we didn't see it and it was nearby. But apparently on our walk up by Tower 2 by the gondola.
Don't say Tower 2. That's gone. Yeah, it was, I think it was, let's just say Tower 8.
Tower 8. It didn't matter. They saw a bear sighting and we were trying to find one on the way down to the gondola. So if you do the Danny on Trail, if you're into working out, I highly recommend walking up, and it's better for your knees to walk up than it is to walk down. That is a hiking note.
Yeah, and I think the back too. I think the back compresses more as you're stepping down, and your chances of falling increase 20-fold going down a mountain.
Oh, definitely. Or you're doing some ankle rolling.
Yeah. You can slip. If that heel slips, I mean, forget about it. You're going down, and that's embarrassing. And by the way, a hiking rule: if you're hiking with people, the first one to fall, and that is defined by hands on the ground, has to buy lunch.
That is true, and I have yet to do it. Joe almost did it on our way into town today on a mud streak.
Can I just amend that? That wasn't even a hike. That was just a walk to lunch.
But it applies to all areas of life. So we made it to the top. We gondola down. We didn't see any bears. Then we took an afternoon break. Would you say we did business?
That makes it sound like we had sex.
We did, and we didn't until way later. And those are spirituality points too. So then later on, we found what we did a nice drive through the country. You got to do that. That's an easy spirituality points thing, and beautiful in Montana. Try to get to a national park. They also said Glacier National Park. Everyone here is like, hey, inside scoop.
They're like, you're not getting it. It reminds me of Best in Show, when he's like, here's a little inside scoop from the business. They all jump.
We were told if you don't go in by 6 a.m, and even then it was said you're not getting in because the road is closed, and nobody ever told us that. So we just went on it. Now we suspect it's a huge rumor that whitefish is spreading to lessen.
Yeah, to keep the locals out. It's like the Curb Your Enthusiasm where the weatherman's saying it's going to rain so we can have the golf course to himself. That's what we suspect, because it doesn't make any sense that, like, if you can't go, just forget about it. Just don't even try to go to the national park.
And it's working because we didn't even bother to go. So that's how we found out about the Danny on Trail. This is a news story that we're going to try to break to the local newspaper tomorrow before we leave town.
Yes, we want to get to the bottom of this. But by the way, doesn't it just feel like sometimes, I'm sure the national park is incredible, but we're right outside. We're like 100 yards from it. How much better could the wildlife be in there than out here?
No, we've seen a lot of deer. I don't know, but here's my thing. I don't think anything's worth waiting in line. And going hiking on a trail when there's 100 people on there it depletes all my spirituality points.
But interestingly, if you're the only one on the trail, that can take away some too, because you become, all of a sudden you're like, if I roll an ankle, I might pass away.
Yeah, and then you're like, this is why I'm alone. You start reflecting on like why you're by yourself. Also, anytime you go hiking, remember from the movie 127 Hours, you've got to let people know where you're going. Because you could get your arm trapped in a rock and then have to cut it off with a blunt pocket knife.
That's right. I always text my mother. I say I'm doing the Swift Mountain Trail or whatever. I text her, and today I didn't because I was with you, and I figured you'd help me.
Yeah. So we got that covered. So then we drove through the countryside, and then we found a moderate hike is probably what you would describe it. Yeah. But it was still there was still incline, but it was all switchback, so you could take breaks and not get out of breath. And it was 3 miles to a lake. And that was glorious. And that was a perfect, nice afternoon hike. I love vacations. We've done this before. Hiking vacations where you do one in the morning, take a break for food, and then you rest, and then you go out for one other one. And the nice thing about here, right, is that it gets dark at 10:30. So you don't have to scramble back. You can take your time.
Yeah, that's right. We call it a twofer. You have a morning hike, come home, you get some breakfast. You want to hike on a full stomach, you kids out there. A little caffeine, I think, helps too. Tea, coffee, whatever it is. You get a nice hike, you come back, you have lunch, maybe, you know what I mean? Do a little business, whatever, send out some emails, and then you go back out for an evening hike. And you want the first hike to be challenging and the second hike to be pretty easy.
Yes, you want it to be relaxing. Because I feel like you did the workout. Now it's time to take it in and enjoy yourself and then really get into the nitty gritty of the conversations. Then we finished and we were very heated and lots of bugs.
Yeah, bug alert, folks. A lot of mosquitoes. And Sarah, I was walking behind Sarah, and I was like her spotter. I had to keep saying, hey, mosquito, left hamstring, mosquito, inner right calf. But by then it's too late anyways, and Sarah's legs look just extremely unappealing right now.
It's cut up. If you guys ever follow me on Instagram, if you looked at my legs from Ecuador, it's borderline that. That was insane. And that only took 5 minutes when we were down by the river.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you. So then we finished, and then we decided to take a swim in the Whitefish Lake, and that was glorious. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? Because I feel like I've dominated this.
Yeah, sure. We went down to Whitehead Lake. We got recognized by a fan at the gate, which was really exciting. He was listening to Ari Shafir's podcast, Skeptic Tank, and he said, "Oh my God, I was just listening to you." And I said, "Oh my God, that's great." And then we went down there. We parked illegally for a couple minutes, and we jumped in the lake. We just jumped in there. We got in the lake. And swam, and then a local was one of these, I got to tell them everything and joke and mess with them. He's a stinker. But usually I think I'm a big fan of dopamines from talking to everybody. I get called a flirt or whatever. Yeah. But I like to chat people up. I enjoy talking to other people. This man I did not enjoy talking with, but the lake was divine.
Yeah, the lake was divine, and it was really refreshing after a long day of hiking and being out in the sun. And then we came back here, we freshened up, and then we went back out and had a lovely meal at what lodge?
Yeah, Logan Lodge it's called, and it's at, I don't know the name of this bird, Grouse?
The grouse.
Grouse
Lodge.
American Lodge or something like that. Yeah. Grouse Lodge. I think there's a word in between. Grouse American? Something like that.
Just Google Whitefish Grouse Lodge and you'll get to it.
That's right. And it was a lovely meal. We had a nice waitress named Cassie who was very sweet. And I had a Caesar salmon. Salmon wasn't the best. Caesar was fantastic. And then I had a vanilla ice cream that just blew my tits right out of the water.
You should have seen. His tits were floating down the water, down the river. It was amazing. People were talking about it. And then it started getting dark, and then you could feel that they were like, you guys can take your time, but here's the check, that you realize we need to get out of here. And then we looked at the houses. I think that's a very lady journey thing to be like, let's look at the property.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're lucky, somebody has their lights on, and as you drive by, you can see into their homes. And that's nice. What kind of paintings, photos of family, what are they watching? Those are fun things, and I think you'll enjoy that if you're out there today. Check it out.
So I would give Whitefish 3 stars. I would say you could probably spend 2 days here and be pretty happy and then move on to the next. We're going to go to Flathead Lake tomorrow, and then Missoula. Joe's going to play another game there, hopefully. He didn't get to go bat for the last one because it was close, and so we're hoping he'll get to play. And now, Joe, so I feel like we racked up a lot of spirituality points. Is there any last words you want to bring to I'm always like to this table. I'm like, I don't even know if we call it this table.
No, we're in a bathroom, so there's no table whatsoever. There's a toilet that
Don't
is
flush it.
uncomfy. But no, I would just say, get out into nature. It's very good for your insides and outsides. Extremely healthy for mental and physical health. All kinds of studies. You can look them up. Don't take my word for it. Just look them up. Being out there and dwarfed by the trees. I don't know if you can use that word anymore, and really just be present and recognize that they're beautiful appearances in your consciousness, and it's a lovely way to spend some time, particularly if you're with a loved one.
Absolutely. We were just saying we are at our best on vacation.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is we hate our lives, so when we go on vacation, we're very happy.
Yeah, everything flies out the window, and we're not like, what do I have to do today for my career?
That's right.
It's all about, we're going to go for a walk or keep it simple.
Yeah, and typically when we vacation, we don't go to a place when we step outside, it smells like dog piss and horse shit, which is where we live.
Horse shit?
Well, it just smells of that. It just smells of...
Bodily fluids.
That's right.
That's right. And my for the rest of the trip, one of my goals is I hope we get to see a moose or a bear in the car.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this has been a really wonderful lady journey. I hope you really like this content, and thank you for listening to our Patreon. Joe, you can see Joe and I in the movies on 4th of July. It's playing in a lot of theaters in your town. All over.
Fandango.
Go to fandango.com, or you can go to lewisck.com, and there should be tickets there. And check that out and get hiking and get your fucking spirituality points up. Lady Journey.
Namaste.